Well, hello, folks. Top Gun here. Got another good one for you today. Some thoughts on the hex price chart. Why not? Let's have a look at maximum pain. Because, yeah, we've all been feeling it, haven't we? I know I have, because, hey, I'm going to let you guys all in on a secret. I'm such a Richard Hart maximalist here. You know when I actually bought? I bought here. Okay. That's when I found out about Hex and started getting into all this stuff and started learning. Okay. So that was fun to watch and then painful afterwards. And then I bought here. And that was very fun. I got to ride that up. That got me in a very big learning curve. Want to know what was going on. And then I've been in for all of this pain. And then I've even bought down here. Alright. So I seem to have a knack for catching some bottoms. That's good. But not gonna lie, I had some emotions in the market maybe as the sacrifice was starting, and I might have made a buy at the top. So I'm not perfect in my executions here. I got emotional about the market. But overall, the other buys balance that out when the price goes up. But the price hasn't been going up. So everyone's probably been a little depressed. I know I've been sad watching the maximum pain chart, we're going to call it right now. So what is all this noise I have drawn on the chart? Try and give you some ideas and some indicators of what we're looking at. Oops, let's take that off of. Here we go. So the chart, boom. We can set it like this. That bottom red line here, this nice big fat juicy one that I'm just hiding at the bottom here above the MACD, that's 0 cents. That's technically, theoretically, like rug pull all the way back to the beginning, a line that, you literally cannot cross because the asset can't be negative. You can't owe money for owning it. So, what is this deal I have here? Well, I have lines of resistance drawn out. What we can do is just ignore the green one for now. That's the general growth direction of Hex that we should snap back to. But we're going to forget about it because we're just looking at maximum pain, this kind of bull flag triangle formation that we've got going on here. I'll bring it up so you can see the past history a little bit. So to make my point, we get into long-standing downtrends. This happens often in crypto. Big market corrections like this one here. Off to another all-time high and then correct, and this one took until here to kind of correct and break out. Like you see, okay, so we hit all-time highs and then we market correct for a while until we break some long-standing line of resistance, and then we hit a breakout. Generally in these we create a W hump in the center, which exacerbates a long-standing term of resistance, and then we finally break it. So an almost breakout and then a real breakout. Again, before the last giant pump, there it was. Fake breakout, real breakout. So that's why we've got this golden line of resistance up here. Alright, so again, the golden line of resistance, a normal long-standing term after an all-time high and a next bump. After we break those lines, we tend to have nice, good run-ups. So, as history seems to show. So in this scenario, now that from this high, every time we've gone ahead, draw these out for you. Like, I'll just draw one. We set up a long trend of resistance, poked against it, couldn't break it, and then broke out of it. Then we started coming down, and again, we tested to come out of it, couldn't, and eventually broke free. And again, once we set a new little mid hump, we had to break out to get over it and do our run up. But you can see how this keeps working. So from this, it'll break and run up. The question's when? What's going on here? So let's delete that. So to give you some ideas, again, watching this, So even for maximum pain. So this first red line I have here is what has been a long established bottom so far. It's a line of support, which indicates we should break out and come to test this again before we start rolling down, because we're in a bear market. And this would be our breakout. And that would be really nice if that happens. But we're in for maximum pain. So this is why I have more lines established. So let's even assume that this 10.5 cents, which seems to be a bottom, fails. Because we've been in a bear market and Bitcoin and Ethereum have been dragging us along. So we could go towards a 90% market correction. Let's just, oops, I thought I had selected. Yeah, let's delete that. Oh, I still have it on the wrong tool. There we go. When you draw things, it doesn't act the same as when you draw a straight line, when you freehand. There we go. So let's imagine that case, and we buckle. We're going to look at maximum pain again. That means we will follow this standing green, possibly down to the tip, before we finally have our breakout and test. And that means it could take longer to get past and come out. So in this, let's have a look. Like at the 10-cent range, we pretty much should break out of this resistance and at least come back to test 15 cents by the beginning of May. Of course, if we look at maximum pain, we could come down a little bit more. I don't think we'll come down to 7.5 cents, but 7.5 cents could be theoretically a possibility. If it is, I got a little to buy. I don't think it'll happen, but hey, what's the harm? So the middle of May, according to this chart, we should, by then, have broken into the next channel. Okay. So while we're in that channel, the down market probably keep dragging us along. So maximum time. So according to the 7.5 cents being an absolute bottom, June 24th, end of June. If we stick with the 10.5 cent bottom, oh, okay, it's around the 7th of June, beginning or end of June, depending on which price floor, which maximum pain. I really don't think we can get below 7.5 cents, but like even if we decided to irk towards a rug pull, let's go for a 99% market correction. That's right, let's get into the 1 cent range. We're all the way down here. Well, break this little resistance, which is just another hump to get in the next channel. Wow, by the middle of June. And oh, it takes us until the beginning of August if we went that low, that big of a market correction, to finally get over this line. But what happens when we do get over this line? Generally, in history, every time we do end up crossing this long-standing line, we go up. Up, up, up. So the question is just when along this time frame of maximum pain. So maximum pain says the absolute worst it can be before we see our pump. Beginning of August, first week of August, absolute worst if we took that kind of market correction. Then price goes up. Most likely, too many people are too eager. This asset's been correcting for far too long, in my opinion. So, end of June, price goes skyrocketing. But that could happen sooner because it all really, in my opinion, we're correlated with Ethereum and Bitcoin, not going to lie. We're getting dragged around by them, and I don't have a lot of hope for their short-term future. We're getting dragged around that, yeah, it could take till Pulse Chain launches, which could be, 2 months. It's always 2 months. So, yeah, I'm invested in the network too. I poke fun, but I'm happy if this launch is released without bugs. It's done properly. But the testnet is so close. I can go and play. It's like, oh, I can smell it. Like, it really is like 4 weeks away or less. Like, oh, everything's running so smooth, so beautifully. As soon as that happens, the same way that right now we have liquidity pool, if you're not familiar with Hart's Law, the assets priced in assets will be dragged by that asset's price. Like, hey, if I could buy my favorite car in Rolex watches and Rolex watches go up in value, well, then those cars are more expensive as well because you can trade. Like, it's the pairing of the assets. It's a funny, interesting thing. So right now, Hex is paired with USDC and Ethereum. That's it. When Pulse Chain launches, EHEX and PX will get paired. Their prices will get pulled together. So this will be attached to Pulse Chain prices. As Pulse Chain goes up, it'll correlate from Ethereum and correlate to Pulse Chain. And oh, look at this big blue arrow. Yeah, price go up. So generally, as the charts say, it's funny that this all kind of lines up that we're about near the end and oh, Pulse Chain should be launching in this area, and then oh, all the things say price should go up, the chart history and the current things we're waiting for. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the launch of Pulse Chain, and that's my thoughts on the Hex chart. Because looking at the day over today, also another thing you might be interested in is if we look at these pumps and we look down at the RSI, an idea how to read it. Every time, right before a giant pump, we're generally hugely, hideously oversold. Not always, but again, we're in a hideously oversold period. But here in oversold, we still went down. And here in oversold, we tried to break out and still fell down. Like the RSI is interesting in that, but no guarantee we're going to pump out now. The market's been harsh. I'm not the kind of guy right now that's going to go buy it. It's going to go up. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going up soon, next few weeks. It's got to break this green line. It's got to break the yellow line. And it's got to go up. So we're waiting for Pulse Chain. But right now, the conditions are favorable. We're not fighting too hard on the MACD, near the moving average. RSI is oversold. Conditions, again, are going, oh, please buy me. Oh, please buy me. I am ready to produce and go up. I will show you such a big green candle. Just buy me, please. And I don't think anyone's around buying, which is why I think it's going to take weeks. Everyone's sitting on the sidelines going, you going to go first? You going to go first? You going to go first? Somebody's going to go first. That's the waiting game. This is going to happen today, tomorrow, 3 weeks, when Pulse Chain launches. We'll have to wait and see. But at this point, I just thought, hey, a lot of YouTubers go quiet in the dark during this bear market. So why not? I'm going to keep videos coming. I'll take the heat. I'm going to be like, yeah, go ahead, hate on me. You're not alone in the dark. I bought this stuff. I bought this stuff all after the all-time high. So, I wonder, I'm good at math. Could there be something I'm seeing in all this stuff that I'm not boring you with a whole bunch of equations like Michael Burry would do? Maybe, just maybe, I'm seeing a thing or two that has me convinced as to why there's value in these assets. And I'm just laughing that no one else is knowing it. Until other people see the value, they're not going to buy it. But it's getting easier and easier to see. So there's a bunch of people that do know there's value, but they know that a bunch of people have to see that value at once to push that price up. So it's a game of expectations. Do we have enough buyers yet? Is it ready for that market pump? Like every time we test it, this is why we get a mini breakout, because they're like, are we ready yet? No. Are we ready yet? No. Are we ready yet? No. There's going to be another are we ready yet argument very shortly, which should snap us into the next channel. And yeah, I really don't think we'll get down to 7.5 cents. Really don't. But I might have a limit order buy at 7.8 just in case. Yeah, and if you haven't bought at 10.5 cents or 11 cents, do buy some. This is probably a bottom. Like I've said, I don't expect us to go down here. It's just I already bought some here. Oh, by the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I just told you to buy some. You shouldn't do that. I'm going to get you wrecked. I'm poor. I'm absolutely poor. I eat Spam in a can. Yeah, and craft dinner. Yeah, I'm Canadian and I'm poor. The only thing I own in my entire life is a beaten down, busted car. A POS car. Look up the song by Adam Sandler that describes my one and only asset. Other than my crypto, which I have just started accumulating. Because I know it's going somewhere. So yeah, I have my opinions, I have my suspicions, but I don't have a single qualification. I don't have a doctorate. I'm just self-pronounced as good at math. If you watch my other videos, you might see why I have that notion. So yeah, Hex, price gonna go up. Pulse, price gonna go up. Pulse X, price gonna go up. Lots of things, price gonna go up. In a bear market, it's gonna be fun to watch. Really fun to watch, because everyone's gonna go, this can't go up. And we're gonna go, hee hee hee. Yeah, I can. Or at least I will. So thanks for tuning in. This is just a little daily check-in. Here's a Hex price chart. I've been busy with work. I gotta go to work. Day job, you know. So till Pulse Chain launches, I can only get out a video once in a while. I hope this tides you guys over. Thanks for tuning in.